Hey, Rumburger World Entertainment, and we have a big update regarding the Beekeeper 2, which has finally set a release date. Now, this is good news, obviously, because now we have a date that this thing is actually going to come out, and people do seem to be looking forward to it. However, we do have some bad news, because the date, well, it ain't anytime soon, I'm afraid. In fact, it's not until next year. Yep, you heard that correctly. It's not coming out until the 15th of January 2027. So, good news for release date, bad news for how long we have to wait. So, let's have a look at this. So, Jason Statham is about to bust back into cinemas at the end of the month with his latest action flick, Shelter. For many fans, though, it is his return to the Beekeeper franchise that many fans are really waiting for. And director Timo, or however you pronounce the second name, has been hyping up the Beekeeper 2 and its many new villains, as the film landed a release date of January 15th, 2027. And that comes from Deadline, apparently. So Statham is used to taking on bad guys, so many bad guys in his various action movies. But in the Beekeeper 2, it looks like even the tough Brit could have his work cut out for him. Speaking to the director said, "I personally can't wait. The script is so great." Was he meant to make that rhyme? And there are so many new villains that are coming in the film. And a film is always great because, especially a film like Beekeeper, it's always great because the villain element is going to be so unpredictable and colourful. And that's what we want to do in the second film. Which, that sounds interesting, especially as he's saying villains as opposed to villain. I think, if I remember correctly, didn't they say it's meant to be like that all the beekeepers are now under threat and stuff? So maybe that's what's going on there. So filming on the Beekeeper 2 wrapped in December of 2025. Oh, but that's obviously why it's going to come out next year. I realised it only wrapped then. I thought it wrapped well before that. So, with Statham being joined by fellow returnees Emma Raver Lampman, Bobby Naderi, Jeremy Irons, and Gemma Redgrave. I thought Jeremy Irons was the villain in the first one. I have to rewatch the first one. Newcomers for the sequel include Yara Shahadi, Poem, I can never pronounce her second name, Mantis, basically, and Adam Copeland, Edge, from wrestling. After taking on Josh Hutcherson's Nepo Baby Tech Bro CEO in the first movie, it will be interesting to see the colourful array of villains that Statham's ex-assassin will be going up against. Under the direction of David Ayer, The Beekeeper was released in January 2024 and turned a 40 million budget into 162 million worldwide box office. As one of Statham's biggest hits and landing mostly favourable reviews, the film was already on the road to getting a sequel before it hit streaming. So, as of Amazon MGM Studios' movie, The Beekeeper found a home on Prime Video, where it became one of the biggest films on the platform, remaining in the streamers' charts for months. A sequel has already been announced in February of 2025, following the film's video-on-demand release, but with Ayer departing and being replaced by Timo, whatever his second name is. For fans of Statham's brand of action movie, The Beekeeper was everything they could have hoped for, with brutal, over-the-top violence and the kind of ludicrous plot that only Statham can take on and make look absolute cinema. So yeah, I did enjoy the first one. I enjoy most of Statham's movie, even when they're a bit stupid. They're still fun. I actually rewatched The Transporter the other day. I haven't seen that one in ages. The dude, he looks the exact same, just with a few more wrinkles, like lines in his face. That's it. Other than that, he looks the exact same. But yeah, I didn't realise that it only wrapped in December. So I thought it wrapped like around October or something. Obviously it didn't. So it is still interesting that a movie that shouldn't have like a ton of special effects, yeah, stunt work and stuff that you'd want to add some stuff into, I get that, but it's still strange that it is going to take that long to come out. So it's basically a year from now that we're going to wait for this movie, which, again, good news that we have the release date. Bad news, we have to wait a year for this thing. So I wouldn't expect a trailer for this anytime soon. We'll probably get it in and around, I would assume, around July, August. In around that time, we'll probably get the first trailer. So it looks like we'll be waiting a while for it. But overall, I know pretty much a lot of people are excited for this movie. And why wouldn't you? This shelter looks interesting. The only time I really saw the trailer for it was when it's on TV. It says the end of the month, but I think it comes out today, this side of the world. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even sure what the movie's actually fully about. I never looked it up, so I really don't know quite what it is. I know it's meant to be him either trying to protect or hide this young girl. I'm not sure from what and who and stuff, but it does look interesting. The Beekeeper, from the sounds of things, especially when they're saying the villains are gonna be like interesting, unpredictable, and colourful, I wonder if they're trying to take this in maybe a bit of a John Wick direction, which would be interesting, because, like, of course, in John Wick you have the Continental, and you thought it was one place, and then you find out no, there's Continentals all around the world, and all these different assassins are there. Same thing with this, just that they're the Beekeepers. Now, if I remember correctly from the first movie, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure the Beekeepers were retired assassins. Well, that's why they became the Beekeepers. Like, that's what you end up removing yourself from the assassin game, and you become these Beekeepers, where I think you're basically almost still on call, kind of. I can't quite remember, but I think that's what the Beekeepers were, that they were the retired assassins. Again, I'd have to rewatch that first movie. But of course, he gets back into the action because his friend, the old woman, I can't remember whether he was off her or whether it was her property that he had the beehives on. But she gets done out of her money, her life savings, by a scam, and she tops herself because she's lost all of her life savings, and she's embarrassed and all that type of stuff, so she ends things, which is what puts Statham back into action, that he goes to take them down, and it's just chaos ensues. The Beekeeper is the movie as well, which I remember, where he knocks the guy out and he ties him up and he's just standing there waiting for his toast to cook. It's like, it's this type of thing. So I'm definitely excited for the second movie. Not so much excited that we now have to wait a year, but at the same time, good things come to those who wait, I suppose. So what do you guys think about this release date? Are you pumped? Are you a little let down that we do have to wait this long? And are, of course, you excited for this next chapter in this franchise? Do let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and hit the hype button, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.